In one of the world's fastest moving countries, there's a wedding tradition that forces everyone to slow down. It's not just a pause for photographs, it's a ceremony where every bow, every sip of wine, and even the number of chestnuts caught in a skirt tells a story that's hundreds of years old. Welcome to Traditional Wedding Ceremonies, where we explore wedding cultures around the world one episode at a time. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let's begin. The pace of modern South Korea is relentless. Trains arrive in minutes. Trends change in days. Technology reshapes life every year. But when it comes to marriage, the country still turns to rituals designed long before skyscrapers or smartphones existed. These ceremonies have roots in the Choson dynasty, which lasted over 500 years, from the late 14th to the late 19th century. In that era, weddings were not personal love stories. They were formal alliances negotiated for the benefit of two families. Back then, marriages were arranged by parents, sometimes with help from a yongmaeon, a professional matchmaker. The matchmaker's role was to carefully evaluate the families, checking not just wealth or reputation, but sometimes even health history and social ties. And even if both families agreed, the match could not move forward without finding an auspicious wedding date. The couple's saju, the four pillars of their birth, was calculated by a fortune teller or monk to determine the most harmonious day. This wasn't a quick process. A wedding could be delayed for months just to align with the right date, and yet nothing truly began until a single wooden box arrived at the bride's home. That box was the ham. Traditionally delivered at night by the groom's friends, it wasn't a quiet delivery. The men would chant, "Hamka kanda," the ham is coming, and sometimes demand drinks or snacks before handing it over. The delivery became its own small celebration. Inside the ham was the marriage letter, a formal document from the groom's family. Red and blue silk symbolizing yin and yang, and sometimes jewelry for the bride. To both families, this was more than a gift. It was the first physical proof that the marriage was real and agreed upon. On the wedding day, every detail carried meaning. The bride often wore a hanbok, a chima skirt, a yoguri jacket, and sometimes a wonsum, a long overcoat embroidered with phoenixes or floral patterns. The jokduri headpiece, decorated with ornaments, added height and elegance, while her cheeks bore small red circles, called yonji gonji, meant to ward off evil spirits and bring good fortune. The groom's attire, also a hanbok, included baji trousers, a jacket, and a formal samagwandi robe, clothing inspired by the outfits worn by scholars and officials of the Choson era. On his head, a black gat, a wide-brimmed hat once reserved for noblemen, symbolized dignity and honesty. The ceremony often took place in the courtyard of the bride's family home, with a folding screen painted with cranes, pine trees, and peonies as the backdrop, all symbols of longevity, fidelity, and prosperity. In modern weddings, this setting is often recreated in cultural centers or heritage halls. The central ritual is the kunber. Before it begins, the couple washes their hands together, a gesture of cleansing the past and starting anew. They then bow deeply to one another, to their parents, and to the sky, acknowledging the heavens as witness. Then comes the hapgunju. Two halves of a gourd, tied with a cord, are filled with rice wine. The couple drinks from them, symbolizing that they are two separate people, but now share one life. The gourd is significant. It grows as one whole fruit that naturally splits into two halves, making it a perfect metaphor for marriage. But the most revealing part of the wedding? It happens away from the main ceremony. This is the paebaek, a private ritual with the groom's family. The couple kneels before a low table filled with chestnuts, dates, dried fish, and other offerings. They bow deeply, and the elders respond with blessings, advice, and sometimes money or gifts. Then comes the chestnut and date toss. The bride holds her skirt wide, and the elders throw chestnuts for sons and dates for daughters. The number she catches is said to predict the number of children they'll have, though these days it's more of a fun tradition than a serious forecast. Music plays an important role throughout the day. The gayagam, a 12-string zither, produces graceful melodies. The dagam flute adds a soft, airy tone. And during livelier moments, the samunori ensemble, drums, gongs, and cymbals, brings energy to the gathering. Food is another highlight. Guests might be served baekseolgi, a soft white rice cake representing purity, or janchi guksu, thin noodles symbolizing a long life. There may be braised short ribs, grilled fish, and an array of banchan side dishes, colorful and abundant. In modern South Korea, weddings often combine old and new. Some couples wear white gowns and suits for the main ceremony, then change into hanbok for the paebaek. Others choose two separate ceremonies, one Western, one fully traditional. So why keep these old rituals in a country that changes so quickly? Because for many Koreans, a wedding is more than the joining of two people. It is a binding of two families. It is respect for elders, a continuation of tradition, and a reminder that marriage is not just about the present. It is a promise to the future. Even in today's high-speed world, the traditional Korean wedding remains a bridge between the past and the future. One bow, one sip of wine, and one promise at a time. If you enjoyed this journey into South Korea's wedding traditions, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves exploring cultures. Thanks, and see you next time.